Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley, and I am your money mindset coach.
I am Vernae with The Real Unwind. I'm your mortgage loan officer and business credit specialist. Just coming to you guys live from The Real Unwind to talk about life, love, entrepreneurship, and parenthood. Today we have our special guest, Bria.
Yeah,
yeah, Bria Jermaine.
Hey y'all, I'm Bria Jermaine. I'm the guest today speaking on motherhood and my business, and I am so excited.
And we're excited to have you here on the podcast. We read your poems, like the book is sitting right here. Like we read it. You
right into it.
Like we read this, and we both have had discussions with each other since reading it, which has opened up some communication between the two of us and some dialogue on feelings. I think as adults, we've all experienced some type of heartbreak. But when you put the words on the paper, like this, I understand. Like when you get an emotion, we knew that we wanted you to come on to talk about your book, your like life and just motherhood and what you have to offer, because you have something powerful here. And that's me saying this to you, like you have something very, very powerful here. So
hallelujah. Thank you. Yeah, that's
well
glory
done.
to God. I'm not even gonna front. It's glory to God. That book, I am not a writer if you knew me. How that came to be about was pure the father sitting me down after a huge heartbreak. Huge heartbreak. I thought so much promise was in it. And something that my cousin started to help me. She was telling me that, write your feelings down because they were so deep and I was so heartbroken. And so over a course of a year, I wrote those words throughout times where I had overwhelming emotion. And then finally, when it was time to sit down and write it happened in a matter of 3 days, which I did not understand. I was like, wow, I really through a year of different emotions going like this, to the point where now, like it came to the end where I felt like, wow, there's possibility of love again in his heart, because at first I didn't think it was. But yeah, I love hearing that it opened up dialogue, and that's what it's supposed to be, opening up people's like day-to-day life, because we go through our lives and we just like, I'm gonna just throw it off. I'm gonna just act like it didn't happen. And when you do that, you can react in trauma in ways that you didn't realize. You can have things pent up and you don't realize until that thing presents itself again. And then you're like, wait a minute, that person may not be the problem. It's something in here now. So yeah.
It's crazy because the dialogue that you opened up for us. So I've never given birth to a child, as you know, but Ashley has. She had to explain to me, especially if your child looks just like someone, it brings up, so many emotions. And like you said, it takes a lot for you to kind of keep going. And I was like, wow, that touched me just from the heartbreak, but that's an emotion that I can, I have yet to experience.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to really be vulnerable to, express this to the world. Like, hey, this is how I feel. I'm left with this emotion, and this reminder, but it also made me a better person. Reading the book, even though it's a book of poems, like I finished it, like looking at it like, wow, I feel like I just got a glimpse into her life. And I was truly, truly touched. As a woman, I was truly touched.
Oh my God. Amen. Oh, my heart I don't even understand. This makes me so happy, because that's all I would have ever asked for this book. Even if this book touched one person, I was like, I want to write something that actually matters. And there was this book of poetry I think I read, my brother gave me. And I think that was also another start to why I started writing in poem format, because, just journal format did not do it. It was like, no, this is like waves. This is something. How can I love something that, like you said, looks like somebody else, that caused the worst pain to my heart? But then realize it had nothing to do with him, even in the beginning, to realize it had everything to do with me while I'm in this pain. Oh man.
And that's
Yeah.
important to be able to identify with, like, the need in the need to forgive. And when you have someone, like you said, that is a replica, who is sitting here in front of you, who you have to heal for, like, you have to find that inner courage, no matter what you're going through, what you're feeling like. You have to figure out how to move on, because you want that child that has come from you to understand, like, this is a part of life, and you have to keep moving. And if mom just stops, then everything just stops for us. So mom has to get up, and mom has to keep, going. But to still be a woman and have to heal yourself while you're parenting, like, that is also something that helps you build self-love. um like, I feel like heartbreak helps you understand what it is that you're worth, what it is that you will accept, what it is, like, you build boundaries, and you start to learn more about yourself through that time, to be able to heal from a sorry that you may never hear, to be able to heal from that and know that I still was able to pour into something or someone, and see this person blossom, and know that, like, my love isn't tarnished, and I have that inner drive to keep going, because I know that there's something that's worth it on the other side of this hurt, of this pain. um like, I know that I'm pouring into something that will grow, even with me going through what I go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah.
So
100%.
we kind of went into it real heavy, but tell us, what is your book? Tell us, what's the name of your book?
I have it right here. Um, my book is There Love After Heartbreak? Poems of a Single Mother Waiting on the Promises of God. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit, I guess a little more intimate than I was expecting. Very young, God promised me and had put in me this this desire for marriage. Very young, and I know it's kind of weird to say now, but hey, we're in a time where we're learning about spirituality. We're learning about how God's spirit moves, and um, it's not as taxable as people can perceive. Like the word talks about many instances where God showed up in miraculous ways. And for me in my life, he showed up really young, putting that desire in me. And I went through life feeling so ostracized when it came to love lives that I did not understand. I just could not figure it out, why love always was like this. I guess, or a relationship like this was always so hard to obtain, even though I had my things in life I wanted to focus on. That was always my ultimate desire. I wanted children. I wanted that life. Um, and I'm finding out it's more than that. It's deeper than that, and it takes more work in the spirit, weight in the spirit than that. And this book was birthed that through all my different experiences and breaks and interactions and situationships, and stumbling in that because no one could teach me. My parents didn't teach me because they were coming out of their own things. I was birthed out of their own things. Let's leave it at that. And to go into life and trying to figure that out, and having this promise and desire in a world where I grew up in a world where they didn't want that. Boys my age didn't want that. So I was like, okay, God, well, you're telling me one thing. You showed me one thing really young, and you're giving me these attributes, but then I'm in a sea where that's not where it is. And my heart cannot take it no more. And I, brokenhearted from whatever trauma of childhood, generational, something that people don't talk about is the stuff that we deal with as Black people alone, our generational things, the generational curses that are on our back. I was bound. I was bound by this unknowingly, and through all of that in a process, this book was birthed through seeing it tangibly, but also getting to understand it spiritually. And being able to break those bonds. And God helped me through that process. It wasn't all me. It wasn't all just my strength. Because I could tell you right now, I was broken. I had so much desire in that relationship, and it wasn't the man as much as it was the promise of having that safety. Finally, someone who's willing to cover me. We were engaged and living together, and we've known each other for a few years, and pregnant, and the breakup happens. Engaged, and I felt like my whole life shattered because I what? Like you were just telling me how you love me, and then now all of a sudden everything changed, and now all of a sudden now you're getting married, and I still haven't even. I'm still standing there 7 months pregnant, hearing you tell me you need this space, and I couldn't understand, right? Just because I was clinging on to the idea and not seeing the person in front of me and not seeing me. So yeah, this is what that book is birthed from, on top of the other situationships and things I've been in my life. And God being there through it, you know, for a lot of it, I honestly pushed him away through a season. And I had a hot girl season where I thought, you know what, I'm gonna live my life how I want to live it. And yet I look back and I would have moments where I was hurting, and I would still talk to God, and he would listen. He would be there, even though I was doing some atrocious things, at least in my heart, I thought were atrocious. And that support, that love, I guess, got me to a place where I am now. And birthing this book. And I can tell you, I wouldn't change a thing, even though it took a lot of heartbreak. I wouldn't change a thing.
The heartbreak is what gets you. It was what got you here. And sitting right here to be able to say, like, you can have this conversation about the past, about the heartbreak. And yeah, you still have the emotions, but you see how far you've come. You see how far, you know, how the steps that you've had to take to even get here, so that in your future, in your, you know, your next relationships, you're able to grow from everything that you learned from your past, and understanding that the past helps you get to, you know, your next step. Like, your story right here, it resonates with so many women, and this will open up a door. And like we said, communication within us to know, like, sis, you are not the only one that is going through this. You are not the only one who has had to deal with this kind of, you know, these emotions, and trying to figure out, how do I become, you know, the person that I used to be, or the person I want to be, through all of this, through the hurt, through the pain. Like, how do I heal myself and love and learn to love myself again?
And that's what it's all about, because as I came to a close on the book, I saw a woman. I saw someone different in the beginning, and through that, it was like, you know, through the concrete grew the rose. Like I said, I just saw a man, a powerful woman that just rose up and was just like, you know what, I accept this. I understand the assignment. You know, here I am. What's next?
Yep, that's literally what it was. Yeah, and also being able to let love in again, not being afraid of the next person to come into my life. Because man, yeah, you want to be ready for that, or the, you know, like, you want to be ready for that. And so I think that was the purpose of why he wanted me to write this book. And I pray it gets to every hand it needs to, and not because I want to make sales. Right. Yeah. I don't want it to make sales just because I want it the cloud, or I don't want to be known. I want, just like how I receive healing from others, I want others to receive the healing they need, and reach that next step. Because y'all, like I said, like, there is love after heartbreak if you allow the healing to take place. Rather, sometimes for people, it's like, rather that be a relationship deeper with God, or the person that God is calling into your life to bring that next level of love. You know, I know that it's possible now, because I could tell you, at the beginning of that book, the beginning of those poems, that girl did not see that. That girl did not. Yeah.
I think I could see that in your progression, in your story. I feel like your poems were your story. Like Vernae said, like she got to see you blossom into this woman and grow. And I feel like your words were able to show people that growth, like you've grown through this. I think the poem that I feel like hit me the most and is like, once you find love again, this is kind of what it feels like. And you said, and I'll quote you, it says, it's like you're seeing me as I am, like you've always known me, like you already do, like you love me and I love you. But the love is not superficial, more like spirits that have always known I was waiting for you. And that right there made me see like sometimes, you do have that hurt and you do have that pain, but you grow and you love and you come out of that, and it's like you find that person who is like, I was waiting for you. I went through everything that I went through, so that I can be that person that you need me to be, and that person that I need to be also. Thank you for waiting for me, and thank you for having that love for me, to see me for who I am and not judge me for my flaws, because we all come with flaws. Not to judge me for those flaws, but to see me and see what it is that I'm trying to achieve so that I can grow and we can grow together.
What was your favorite poem out of all, I guess out of all of them, or at least if you could pick one?
I have three, but Vernae, you could go first.
So I wrote mine down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 that I really like. But the first one that jumped out to me was Here.
Mm.
I really liked Here because of where am I? Where am I going? Where have I been? And how did I get here? And Ashley has the book with her on her side. Otherwise, I would quote something too. But that one definitely stood out. Before I knew you, and it's like I knew you before I knew you. Those were my top 3.
Oh yeah, go good. That's good.
So for me, my top 3 were I am a baby mom, because that one gave me some emotions. That one gave me some feelings where it's like, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. Like I wasn't supposed to be. And me and Vernae talked about this. Like it's not because this is where I'm yearning to be now, but at that time, like this isn't what I signed up for, to have to do this alone. And you want to have that hate, and you want to be like, I don't want to deal with you, but then you can't do that because you have someone sitting right here, and you don't hear the baby part. All you hear is the ma part. Like my child needs me. So
Right.
more than I can bear. That one was like, sometimes like you just feel like it's just the weight of everything is just sitting here, and like I don't know how much more I can take. I don't know if I can take any more, but keep it going. Even when you don't think you can. And like Vernae said, it's like I knew you before I knew you. Like, how I feel about Vernae. And it gave me that feeling like when we first met, when we first talked on the phone, when we first, like that first interaction, I felt like, okay, maybe, I could get to know this person. And the more that I got to know her, the more that it felt like our connections and healing that generational trauma together and growing together, like I really felt and I resonated with that one also. And like I said, the love that we have the love that I have for her. I felt that in that poem also.
You guys like some hitters there. I'm all like, people like my poems. Oh my God. And know that I published this book all on my own. I know there's some typos in there. There's got to be, because I stayed up for 2 days straight to get that out in time. Glad you guys love them. And I pray this is just beginning. I'm hoping that this reaches every hand that it needs to be in and is read by those who need that level of healing to reach that next level that God is trying to take them.
Do you have a favorite poem or a top 3 that is like?
Let's see. I know my favorite may be Oh, My Guardian Redeemer, In Between the Lines. Those are my, I think, top two, maybe mine, because it was the process. It was just so raw. I think that was one of my rawest moments. Like in the middle of taking care of my son, I had to stop and write this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you read one of them to us? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which one you want me to read.
Whichever one you would like to read, give us today. That's the one we will take.
Yes.
Why do I avoid you? Father, you're a father with open arms. You're merciful. Your judgment is judgmentless. You see me as I am, and you choose me. Why hide? Hide what? You already see me. The mirror can be overwhelming, that reflection. I don't want to see the person the enemy tells me I am, the fleshly me. Full of sin, I'm trying to identify. Why avoid you if you are the answer? You are the light that shines my reflection. You help me remember who I am. Draw near to me and I draw near to you, too. Yet this void in me wants to avoid you. For what reason? What do I not want to see? Better yet, what is it I don't want to do? Why hide from the truth? I know I love. I'm mad at you or mad at me and projecting, deflecting the truth, which is I need more of you, more than I have ever had, to remove the pain of self, seeing myself, but then forgetting who I am. Like a man in the mirror, later forgetting himself. Who am I? What am I to do? One question, one answer. Stop avoiding me.
Thank you so much for that.
Like, yeah, I felt like to, I guess, go to that one.
I felt it.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So now that we done talked about love, let's go ahead and switch it up a little bit. We've heard a bit of your story, but tell us who you are without the labels.
Ooh, okay. Who am I without the labels? Look, I'm like, man, I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. Bria without the labels is just a woman who desperately seeks to please God. I desperately seek to please my father, and it took years to get here, where I feel like that is who I am without any labels. Anything that I do, anything that I work on, anything that I do with, like, when it comes to my son, I want to be better for the next generation. I want to be a light to life. I don't want to be a dim, dark light. I want to be a full light, right? Any venture, that is me at the core. And that's taken time to get there. It wasn't something I'm just, oh yeah, let me just, like, for a long time, it was always just business and just wanting to be better for the next generation. But it has gotten deeper, where since surrendering that part to him, he has given me all that in return. It's like weird. Everything I ever wanted, he's put that at my feet now. And so that is me at the core without labels. Yeah, that's it. I don't know how to take away labels. It's like that's your whole being sometimes, being a mom. It's real hard to detach being a mom. Real hard.
It is. It's very hard to try to detach from motherhood, and sometimes just being like all of the other family relationships that you have is kind of hard. Detaching yourself and getting out of, always being for others and being for yourself. So being able to identify who you are without a label, without, well, I'm somebody's mom, so that we don't lose our identities in ourselves. I think that that's very important. That's something that you touched on, is like finding who you are again. So being able to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, but also identify who you want to be and who you want to continue to be. Because our kids are going to grow up one day. Like they're going to grow up, they're going to be gone. And if we're just surrounded and everything is into them, once we're empty nesters, then it's like, so now what do I do? Because we put everything into them. Now it's like, now I have to find myself. And a lot of times we're done raising our children, depending on when we had them. And like we're now in our 50s and we're done. And it's like, well, I spent all of this time not knowing. So now I'm in my 50s trying to figure out what I like, what I don't like, so I can, build that relationship, that self love with me. It's good to start that even when your children are young, it's still taking that time out to be your own individual person, because we get caught up in everything else and being everything for everything else. It's hard for us to pour out of this cup if it's empty and we're tired and we're just in this rat race and on this wheel. Like it's important for us to be able to take out and identify and grow within ourselves.
Man, I'll tell you, my son, he makes it very clear to me, like, Mom, I'm on my own thing. Like, mind your business.
Yeah. We have a 16-year-old. Yeah.
16. Wow.
Yeah, so he's really in the my business is my business and your business is your business and mine your business. Yeah, we get that real heavy over here.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're gonna be all in your business and our business. You don't have no business until you move.
Right.
That's when you get
you, a grown man living in your own place.
There you go. You pay your bills. And still your business might be my business.
Right.
It's a forever
all
thing.
The way until you taking care of me. Yeah, this is forever thing.
How old is your son, Bria? Knowledge, right?
Yes, knowledge. Knowledge will be he is 2, and he'll be 3 in July.
Okay. You're also a chef too, right?
Excuse me there. I am a chef. I have my own another business that I'm currently doing from home. I do meal prep services. If you have Instagram or Facebook, it's at project underscore whole food underscore kitchen. Okay. I'm currently I'm in the Houston area. So what I do is I set out a menu every week, and I like to cook with whole ingredients. I love going a little bit of paleo-ish, gluten-free as possible, mixed with a little bit of my vegan knowledge. I went vegan for like 10 months, and I learned a lot of substituting certain ingredients and cutting out like refined sugar, things like that, and adding in more things that are like, like flax seeds and chia seeds. I would love to actually work with sea moss more, and then learning more about teas, learning about turmeric and the benefits of that, and trying to add that into elements and things like that. So I cook with as many whole and healthy ingredients as I can, and cutting out GMO, cutting out, the stuff the crap that they put in food.
That's something that I'm into, is like the herbs and the teas, and that's actually what's inside of my cup right here, right now, is this tea. I like to make my own different spices, using natural spices too. Like you said, it's healthier, it's better for you. You learn different things. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2018. I was diagnosed, and so trying to find natural ways to heal myself. And use that. So what you're saying, that's really important with the business. Do you do just, you said in the Houston area, like what are your most prep meals that you prep the most? Sorry.
My favorite one to do is like these, which is most people's favorite, is these overnight oats. I've also tried in like, chia puddings and quinoa bowls. Those are kind of like my favorite go-tos. I do my best to try and get non-GMO oats. I like to make, I guess, signature, like I like to make vegan soups or simple soups, just to have something light in between all the meals. And then I would do like something with chicken and then or fish. I don't usually cook with pork or shellfish. A little bit of biblical like influence, but more so like when I learned about how bad they can be, I kind of was like, okay, let me cut that out. I want to say it's a link to a lot of high blood pressure in people. When you eat a lot of shellfish and eat a lot of pork, because it's like high in sodium. I don't know if you guys know, pigs don't sweat, so they don't detox like the other animals. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let me stick to chicken for a while and see how that go, because I deal with I had a condition like I'm in the middle of trying to heal psoriasis, and I had developed tendonitis in my left ankle. So I've been working on trying to like get a higher anti-inflammatory diet going as well, with all the knowledge I've been learning. And I don't think I'm done. I think I'm like literally at the beginning of learning about food. And I want to, like I said, I want to learn more about herbs, because herbs is a lot of where the healings are, and teas, and there's a reason that God wants us to fast from time to time. It's one of the best detoxes you can do for your body, and plus the spiritual benefits. You you start to kill that flesh, and and you don't live. We don't live on by bread alone, is what it says. So that's why that is good. And then I want to learn more into that. I want to learn more about herbs. So far, my biggest go-to is ginger and turmeric.
Yep.
Yep.
Ginger and turmeric.
That's in everything.
Yeah, it's in everything.
But what made you start kind of doing the meal prep and becoming a little bit more serious about your health, and the health of others too? Like what gave you that, like, hey, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to do this?
Hey, it's like this. You have a skill, you need to make money to provide for you and your little one, go for it. It was a nudging, of course, from close members of friends and family that did the biggest push for me to do it. Because when I cook, it's so intimate to me. I feel like that's what I want to do for family. Like if you were like, "Oh, Brie, come over and bring a dish," or "Cook, can you cook this?" And when you come over, it's like, "Yeah, I love that. I love to feed the people in my vicinity and do the best I can to feed them the most healthiest things." So when I started meal preps, it was just because I was at home with my son, and I need something to make money, and the health was just a benefit from my own walk with health, and learning about better ways to eat, because I love food. You can see I love food. I was never a big snacker. I loved meals, and something that always attracted me is when I saw people make these dishes, like, oh yeah, you can still have something sweet, but make it a healthy sweet. Like sometimes you could take oats and turn it into a brownie. Using chocolate chips and dates and things like that. That's good for your gut. Then learning about gut health and how important that is for everything. Everything comes from your gut. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a lot to start a meal prep business, which is a blessing too. So if you have a space, that's kind of pretty much all you need.
I've seen some of your meals.
Yeah. I have this one client, he comes back because he is every week on time, like 5 of everything. And I'm like, man, is it really that good? Like, yeah, I love to cook, and I always get good feedback. And I like trying new stuff too. So that what this business offers is a fun opportunity to be creative, and push myself in new ways.
So I kind of look at you like a superwoman, because you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing you're writing books, you're doing everything. But how do you balance all of that?
I can't stress it enough. The Holy Spirit, the person, at least the old man, I could not balance my life. I could not direct it. I could not have the will to write that book while my son is, right here, and remembering to feed him, and remembering to take care of him and take care of myself. I was a person who used to forget to brush her teeth. If I didn't have that intimate, close personal relationship with him, none of this would be. I wouldn't be sitting here before you, talking to you and talking about this book and the business I'm running, and also having another job while trying to, build that business, and having faith to even move to this new city and do all this. I wouldn't out my relationship with God, because I know who I was. I got a good season in who I was, and I didn't like it. And I just surrendered. And this is what has birthed from it. Even now, learning about finances and getting that together. And also I'm in school full time,
Wow.
online though. Trying to finish my business degree, in business management. Yeah. Yep.
Look at you. Go ahead, girl. Go
Yep.
Right?
ahead.
Congratulations.
I also couldn't do it without my village. I'm so thankful for my mom, and my brother and the other members of my life who are willing to help me care for my son in the seasons where I need him either away, or I just need, can you take him to the park, or can you pick, like those things. I have that village, which has been a blessing. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that the community is so strong that they can actually step in and be who you need them to be in this time so that you can grow in your season. And I love that.
Yeah. I'm so thankful.
So what are your next steps? So we have the book, we have a cook, and so what's next? You're in
I
school,
don't
Business
know.
so
degree.
Yeah, business degree, prayerfully, a love life that God puts together. I have some business plans in the works. That's just ideas that's been on my heart. Um, and so I guess in the course of business school, I'll be completing that and seeing how that goes. I'm definitely an entrepreneur at heart. I've been like that since I was like young. I'm gonna say like 16 years old, trying to, man, maybe if I invent something.
I understand that.
Coming up with it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and yeah, I'm praying that that's the next venture of whatever he puts in my works to hands. It's kind of like that poem of "Oh my guardian redeemer." Like, give me the work of my hands because I'm ready. I have all this energy now and this zeal.
So with all your newfound wisdom, what advice would you give 16-year-old Bria? Like, what would you say to that little girl that wants to write a book, wants to go to school, wants, love in their life, but they don't know where to start? What advice would you give them?
Believe God. I know that your life doesn't look like you want it to. I know there's a lot of hurt right now in your life. You feel lost. You don't have the person you used to go to. And you may not have that person you get to talk to, but believe God above everything else. Whatever he speaks to you, whatever he shows you, and his word, because everything can pass away. Everything may pass away, and then have love, because everything can pass away, but one thing that stands is love. And love is deeper than self gratification. Of love is selfless. It's not about what you can get; it's about what you can give and the actions that you do. Um, and pay attention to actions of others, actions of yourself. Don't be a void of sucking what other people can give you, especially in relationship, because that can easily get blended really quick, because you can't, you're so in the honeymoon, it can get blended. Really check your actions and get, where's this coming from? Or why do I feel like I overly need them? Where is this coming from? I would speak to that 16-year-old and tell her, slow down and, you know, look at all that and believe all that and know that all that is true and it will all come to pass.
If there is a young
Thank
lady
you.
or a woman who wants to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you? Because everything that you've said today is powerful. It's moving. Like it gives you the inspiration and that drive to want to keep going. And like I said, after reading your books and speaking to you today, like this is important. Women understanding, like you said, there is something to look forward to in your future. Just keep moving. So how can they get in contact with you if there's anything that they need? Because it sounds like you're for your community, you want to help. So how can they reach you? How can they, talk to you, engage with you?
Okay. I would definitely say reach me on my Instagram at Bria Jermaine. That's BriaJermaine. On Instagram, even Facebook. You can reach me there. That's one thing that I'm thankful that God gave me a heart of that early. to pray for that early. I started praying for that at 19, which was, I thought, if I can be honest with you, it was stupid. It's
No, not at
stupid
all.
and smart at the same time.
Yeah.
It requires it requires things. If you know the story of David, it requires you to go through things. You know, you got to go through fighting bears and lions in your life in order to obtain that wisdom. It's not just freely given, even though it's given. Because in order to grow you up quickly, you got to go through some stuff. So I had to go through some things. That, at least for me, my personal, because we all go through things, right? I had to go through intricate personal things for God to say, okay, you want this, let me break you a little, so you can get a good picture, and to be able to have to sit outside yourself. So yeah, if any woman, anybody out there who may want some wisdom, go ahead and reach me on Instagram or Facebook.
Did you have any questions for us, or any statements that you wanted to put out there for your audience?
I just want to say thank you so much for this conversation. This has been a blessing to me. You guys touched me with just having this dialogue. This was amazing. And I guess my only question is, what's the next episode?
I was thinking, like, what is the next episode? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm thinking of how I can get you back on here, and what we gonna talk about next. Entrepreneurship. We got to talk about some more stuff, because you definitely have given me a lot of light, a lot of wisdom, and I understand why you named your son Knowledge, because I feel that's what you're about to pour into him, because that's what you poured into me, and a lot of people who are out there resonating with this right now.
I can't take credit for the name Knowledge. That was all his dad. I wasn't even sure to begin.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah,
because he's seen it in you.
Yeah, that was definitely a God moment. It had to be, because I'm like, huh? And how much is birthed from it? Oh, that boy. But yeah, yes, ma'am.
We like what you have to say. We feel like what you have to say is important. Getting in touch with our feelings and understanding how to work through our feelings is something that we believe in 100%. And communication is something that is very important. And having, what you said, a village. And sometimes as women, we always feel like it's just us that's going through a situation, and knowing that there are other women who do understand and who are going or have gone through something similar to you is important. So we want to continue to have these conversations, to pour into other women so that they know that they're not alone. So when they are going through their darkest moments, they have a voice, or they have women who look like them, who understand. A lot of times in our community, like, these conversations are taboo. So we want to bring this to light, to say, like, Black women, we are strong, we are powerful, but we also need sometimes that shoulder to lean on. Sometimes we need that other woman to be like, sis, pick your head up and let's keep going. So we would love to have you come back on with us to have, more conversations about this, because we think that this is an open dialogue, and this opens up more dialogue for us to be able to start to heal, and get past some of the trauma and traumatic experiences that we've gone through in our life, especially through parenthood, business, like entrepreneur life, love. Like, we have a lot of this that falls on us. So having these conversations is very important, and hearing these conversations is important for our future, the daughters that come up behind us, the women that come up behind us, so that they know how to have healthy relationships, not just with other people, but with self. And that's what this is. This is about having, and building relationships with other women, but also learning and being encouraged to build that relationship of self-love, self-respect, and self-worth.
Yes, ma'am. And can I also say, I want to add to that, because this book, it was for a perspective of a woman, but it would benefit a man to read this as well.
Yeah.
Can I say, let's not leave them out on their effect and how powerful the effect that they have on us as women. this is something worth reading. So men get this too. Know that God wants to see the effect that you have emotionally, but also the power that you hold to your healing as well, that you need to get your emotions out. Men don't do that, and that's why they continue to hurt and they continue to, do the things they do as well. That you're not alone in the heartbreak. It's evident that they go through heartbreak too. And my hope is, as well, as they pick this book up, not thinking it's too girly. As you can see, I went with a black cover, but there's a man there too, and he get healing so that he's not repeating the cycle, because it starts with that too.
As moms with boys, we are raising this next generation of leaders, of like teachers, of like we are raising this next generation of men being moms. And so we have to make sure, like you said, they understand that their healing is powerful, and what them healing and understanding, like you have power against other people, the power that you possess and that you hold that impacts and affects other people. So you have to be able to use that power in a healthy way. And if you're not okay, you have to be able to express it, and you have to be able to let us know so that we can work together to fix it, whether it's your parent or if you're in a relationship, either other brotherhoods. Like, you need to be able to work through emotions and work through your hurt and your pain in healthy ways so that you can be, productive, you can produce, and you can be prosperous in the future. Because you're going to have children one day, like they're going to have children, and you're not going to want them. Like, it's a cycle that we have to end on both female and male perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you feel at the end of this interview?
Okay, I feel amazing. I am thankful. I never thought I would have had an opportunity like this, especially so soon. So I am blessed. I am touched. I pray over your lives, and that you walk in the Father's will, and that whatever comes out of this is good, or is God given.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you for joining us today and speaking about your book, your chef business, entrepreneurship, motherhood, love, life. Like, we want to thank you for taking the time out to come and speak to us. Thank you for being our guest today. And if you have anything that you need from us, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here. We believe in building the community. So if there's anything that you ever need, we're here for you.
To sit down and speak with us, like Ashley said, there was a lot there. Through this, I'm going to reflect on everything we just spoke about, and come back for more conversations like this.
Yes, I would love it. I would love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
And everyone, we want to say thank you so much for sitting with us today and listening to our interview with Bria Jermaine about her new book, Is There Love After Heartbreak? Poems of a Single Mother Waiting on the Promises of God. These conversations are important for us to have, and we will continue to have these conversations here on The Real Unwind, because in order for us to grow, we have to know. We have to have this knowledge and this wisdom. And this is very important. These are very important topics for us as women to discuss, to know that we're not alone. So on behalf of the Real Unwind, I want to say, is that the name of the podcast? The Real Unwind?
The Real Unwind.
So
that is the name of it.
Right. So on behalf of the Real Unwind, I want to say thank you for listening in. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to us, we always put our information at the bottom in the description. But please remember to like, follow, and share these conversations so that more women can begin the process of healing and building their network so they can build their net worth.
You said it all. So I'm going to sign off with that as well. Thank you guys for, again, tuning in and discussing life, love, parenthood, and entrepreneurship. This was a good topic. This was a heavy conversation, but it was well worth it, much needed, because like both you and Bria said, there's a lot of seasons that we all go through where we need our community, we need our village, and sometimes we just need a line of communication to speak to one another so that we can understand each other's perspectives and learn and grow from one another, no matter what the situation may bring or what the outcome may bring. So until next time, I'm excited for our next episode, and we'll be back with you guys soon.
Peace, love, and soul.